We will try again. Configure dual output. Welcome to TikTok Live. We're looking good. We're looking good. Very cute. That's red. Let's see. Let's see if we're actually gone live. Oh, we are. Okay. We're live. We're off. Looks like I've spelt that correctly, so that's pretty good. Maybe I should put it up. I should make a note. Should make a note. People, I suppose, will come on board pretty soon. Now that they know we're live, we can talk. If you're there, if you're joining us, well, you know, send us a like, send us a share, let the world know that we're on. If you've got any questions, say hello in the comments. Hello all. Well, I didn't even know I could do that, but I can. So I'm just using Streamlabs to go live. So yeah. If you're there and you've got any questions, ask away. Been working on the state sponsorship wizard, which is going to be released tonight, and it should be in the App Store tomorrow, which is pretty cool. Real Hoj, is there a healthcare assistant role? Someone asked me about healthcare assistants, I think yesterday. I don't know if I can, I don't really want to look things up because I'm using my computer for Streamlabs, but I can do it from here. Hang on, on my phone. How many devices does a man need? I think there was a medical assistant, healthcare assistant, and SCO. Let's see what it says. Nursing support and personal care workers, maybe that's it. What's it say? Includes therapy aides, personal care assistants, nursing support workers, hospital orderlies. 423311. 423311. Not listed. So the one that's under, you might not be any good. Mateo Carubia, industrial engineers. When's going to be WA 190 round for our bricklayers? I don't know. No one knows when they're going to, unless there's been news today, which I haven't seen, because I have my head buried in the computer, getting things up and running. Industrial engineers. I cover the same ones every day. Of course, people are liking and sharing and promoting the channel so that everyone can get the good news. Yesterday we had 6,500 likes, which is pretty good, in 2 hours. Industrial engineers, so it's on the list. It's on the state sponsorship list. It's on the CSOL. Not many offers, only 30 last year. Predicted cutoff of 90. No offers this year, Mateo. I reckon you need a job. State sponsorship, no offers. You definitely need a job. Regional sponsorship, no offers. You don't have 90 points. Like there might be another round in November. If they run out of rounds, obviously, you haven't been offered this year. So you need work as an industrial engineer. Give that a whirl. 190 round for bricklaying. Well, it's not going to just be for bricklayers. If you're a bricklayer, of course, I'm sure you can get work as a bricklayer. If you're onshore, get work. If you're offshore, might be a little bit trickier. Real Hoj, more like a caregiver for seniors. Yes, personal care assistant. So I don't know where you are, Real Hoj, if you're in the country or out of the country, but personal care assistants come under sort of aged care workers, and there is a labour agreement. So the labour agreements don't come up on my app, but you are eligible for a 482 visa as under that labour agreement stream, 3 years on that, and you can get PR, and you only get paid the award, so you don't need to meet a lot of the normal requirements like the minimum salary. You just need to get paid the award. If you need more information about that, drop me a DM. My email's there, enquiries@dragonmigration.com, and I've also put the link to the app, avm.dragonmigration.com. If you want Aussie Visa Mate and you can't type in Aussie Visa Mate into the App Store, type in that URL and it will forward you directly to the page. So there you go. Cool beer. A cool beer. Cool. I'm sure you get a lot of quotes on that. Any chance for painting trades in Victoria? Well, Victoria's obviously still closed, but let's have a look. Painting trades. You can download Aussie Visa Mate and look this. Well, you can't look this up unless you pay for it, but there's a free section. Painting trades on all the lists. 70 points is what you needed. And for the states, Victoria didn't make any offers, and in regions they didn't make any offers. So for Victoria, no special work for painters. You will need to have a job. If you're getting a job, particularly as a trade, because obviously a lot of people like to do their trades through ABNs as subcontractors, you need to be employed by a firm with a tax file number, them paying your superannuation in order to get a work visa. That is your pathway. Traffic control. I'm not sure about New South Wales, but traffic controllers, traffic, let's have a look. Road traffic controller is not on any list, but we have DARMA agreements, another 13 lists. If you go to the Northern Territory, that's another state that begins with N, or you go to the Pilbara in northwest Western Australia, in the middle of Upper Kumbukta West, although it's very beautiful up there, it's just quite remote. Then yes, as a road traffic controller, as a lollipop lady, you can you can get a work visa, and then after 3 years, because you're on a labour agreement or a DARMA agreement, after 3 years you can get permanent residence on either the 186 or 191, depending on which work visa you get. You might get the regional 494. So that's what you got to do if you are a traffic controller and you want to stay over to the Northern Territory or the Pilbara. Send those trucks in the right direction. ENs in Tasmania. Enrolled nurses. Enrolled nurses. Can't get permanent residence on a 189, can't apply independently. For states, enrolled nurses are listed but no offers for Victoria, so that doesn't, oh no, you're in Tasmania. Okay, Tasmania, 69 offers for state. Now 69 is not very many, and look, oh no, we don't have it. Okay, so actually I really should fix that, but still. And regional, Tasmania took 33, so they took about 100 enrolled nurses. I think that from memory there's about 3,200, 3,300 enrolled nurses. It's not a lot of the total pool, but what you might want to do is download Aussie Visa Mate, and the next version, which is going to come out tomorrow because I've almost finished coding it, is going to have the state sponsorship wizard where you'll enter in enrolled nurse, and yep, and then you'll type in what your experience is, and if you're currently working in that field, and then you'll say, where are you living? I'm living in Tasmania, and you've been there for a year. And then you go, did you study in Australia? And you'll say no. And then it'll come up with the results, ta-da, and it'll tell you what stream that you're eligible for, if any. So I've done the whole data collection stuff. Now I've just got to do the if then else clauses to tell people what they're eligible for. So that's going to be done tonight, and it'll be in the App Store tomorrow. So you want to check out that. And the state sponsorship wizard is in the free part of the app, so you should download it. Motor mechanic at 85 points. 189 New South Wales. Well, if it's a 189, it doesn't matter if you're in New South Wales. But if we look at motor mechanics, I think the cutoff was 85, wasn't it? Motor mechanics, 85, but no offers. No offers. New South Wales is closed, but last year they took 132 mechanics, which is not too bad. How many mechanics are there? There's 3,200 total last year, so only about 5% or 7.5% of our mechanics. If you're a mechanic, get a job. There's plenty of jobs going for mechanics. So I suggest you get work, and I don't know if there's any mechanic jobs in the sponsors list. I think there is. Lots of automotive companies, construction companies, logistics companies looking for mechanics. So lots of job opportunities there. You can download Aussie Visa Mate and find out all about it. Pickles, we're up to 26 people. We're up to 1,000. Oh, it's all going well. Sharing the live is always good. What about butchers? Industrial engineers need jobs. OPSIA. Social workers. The app is Aussie Visa Mate. There's a link there, avm.dragonmigration.com. Takes you straight to the App Store and you can download it. Okay, let's figure it all out. If I don't get to you, download the app, right? Travis at Woo, something about that. So the toolkit part is currently free. The VIP part, you got to pay for that. It's a monthly subscription to get all the juicy stuff, which costs me a fortune to dissect. But butcher or small goods maker, can't get general skills migration. State sponsorship is what you're looking for, or you can be sponsored. Butchers, no offers. I don't think there's going to be any. No offers even in regional areas. You need a job as a butcher. It's that simple. Surveyors, H. Brown. Surveyors. Don't forget to support the channel. Likes, shares, gifts, always good. If you're asking questions, bump us up the ratings. Help me out. Get more people involved. Surveyors. 189s, 190s, 491s, all available. Not many offers though, only 10, less than 10 last year. Probably means one lucky family won the lottery. You needed 90 points. And then no state offers, no regional offers. So for surveyors, it's all about jobs. If you're in Western Australia, and I think New South Wales, you'll definitely get a Guernsey job-wise as a surveyor. Another fun elephant print shirt today. That's correct. This one's the blue one. And let me tell you, I have lost so much weight. When I bought this, it's an extra large, but it's shrunk in the wash and it was quite tight. And now I can almost fit a second body in here. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yes, I'm almost under 80 kilos. I was 80.7 and yep, I'm going for sub 80 on Friday. So, and if anyone's interested, I'm doing shakes. I'm doing protein shakes. The ones I'm doing are expensive because they're an Amway product. It's called Neutralite. You can get cheaper ones. I'm not trying to promote Amway in any way. I don't get any commissions or anything like that. It's just the one that I'm on. For those who are interested, it's called Body Key. It's got I think it's got 5 flavors, but one of them is banana, and I hate banana. But it's got milk tea, strawberry, chocolate, and coffee for the shakes and the protein, and it's really quite good. Really quite good. Don't feel hungry at all. Very rarely. Take 2 of them a day and have a real meal at lunch. But my real meals are quite small. So yeah, in Thailand, it's all pretty cool. There you go. Losing weight and my shirts are all fit me. Some of the ones that didn't shrink are a bit too big for me. And I had to go out and buy new shorts and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, it's the Sua Cheng. So Sua is shirt in Thai. You can learn everything in this channel. And Cheng is elephant, Thai for elephant. And you've probably seen the Cheng beer, which is one of the Thai beers. So with an elephant on the can. Yep. I drink Singer, but yeah, anyway. Although sometimes I drink Chang because they sponsor a lot of the events in the local area that I go to. So there you go. Okay, what about vet nurse? Someone asked me about vet nurses the other day. I think they need jobs in some, I can't remember. Let's have a look. Veterinary nurse. So state sponsorship or on the CSOL. In the States, no offers. Regional, no offers. So plenty of Dharma agreements if you need to get under, if you don't get paid enough, you need to get under the 76,500 C-SIT, or what was called the T-SCHMIT. God, what are they? Of all the things they could do, they have to change acronyms. So you need a job as a veterinary nurse. My beautiful main co, I have my own building company, looking to move to Perth. I'm 47. What are the options for me? So, I don't do, what's it called, the National Innovation Visa, because which is basically the only way you can self-sponsor. You'd either have to go and work for someone else as a builder for a couple of years. You're 47, so you're over the 45 threshold, so you need to get on a Dharma agreement to do that, or you need to marry an Aussie, or if your partner's a couple of years younger than you, maybe your partner is eligible still, and they could be the primary applicant. That's one way you could do it. If you want to start up your own building company, is to do it that way. There's really not very good options for owner occupiers, owner employers. I don't know what you call them, self-employed people. It's because the system was rorted severely. People were buying Starbucks coffee shops and they'd hold on to them for 5 years and they'd turn them over, and they weren't actually investing in the economy. They were just buying a business and turning it over and then selling it to the next migrant who wanted to come in on that pathway. So they sort of shut it down. So it's quite difficult. But you're over 45, so look at your partner if she can, or whoever your partner. If you've got a partner, whoever they are, whatever their sex is, I don't want to get myself in trouble these days. If they're under 45, then go for it. Otherwise, you've got to work for someone else and get on a Dharma agreement. All good. What about ECT? Look, early childhood is you need a job, it's really quite simple. You need a job, right? Early childhood is you needed 85 points in the last round. You'll probably need 85 in the next round. There's 6,800 people queued up, and every month there's that number goes up by 300 or 400. By the end of the year, there's going to be 10,000 people queuing up for early childhood with that much demand. Unless you speak the Queen's English and you're taught little Harry in early childhood centres in London, you got no chance, right? Get a job as an early childhood person and go that way. And in terms of New South Wales, I don't know what the New South Wales requirements are, but they took 86. That's 1% of all the ones who are waiting. So it's you've got a chance, but you got a 1% chance. If you get a job, you got a 100% chance. There you go. You're looking in the wrong area if you're for general skills migration. You really want to be looking for a work visa. Vet nurse, we did vet nurses. You're from the UK, that's great. We paid over 20k to get a panel beater from the Philippines. It was a massive scam. Bloke is not a beater. Well, I suppose you need to do your due diligence. Head over to the Philippines, and like this is exactly the reason why it's very difficult for offshore people to get jobs in Australia offshore, because they can't come here and demonstrate their skills. You need to be careful. Yes, Mustafa, hello from Hua Hin, Thailand. Hello everyone. Keep those likes and shares going. Still waiting for my first gift of the day. May I ask about primary school teachers in WA? Is there any visa update? Thank you very much. Well, WA is closed. I think pretty much the states don't. The states will sponsor, but they don't do work visas, right? Because they want to employ the local staff. So if you're after a work visa, you need to go to a private school or the Catholic system, right? So, or the independent system, which is predominantly the Catholic system. Primary, now they weren't primary products, primary school teacher. So they're not on the 189. You can't get a general skills application criteria, but you can get state sponsorship. And the only states that offered were the New South Wales, Victorian and Western Australian governments, and not very many, like 25. And that's not teachers, that's family units. So teachers tend to get married to other teachers. Maybe they do, and have kids. So that might only be 6 families, right? If 6 families divorce 25, right? So it's not a lot, right? If you're looking at sponsorship, if you've got Aussie Visa, mate, all the approved sponsors are here and they're listed, and it's a who's who. St. Lawrence Catholic Primary School, Tarneet Rise Primary School, Roxburgh Homestead Primary School. All these schools are already sponsors. Approved sponsors are obviously already bringing people into the country. So you can contact them and say, hey, look, there's the Islamic College of Brisbane, right? It's not just the Catholics, as I was saying. Camberwell Primary School, just around the corner from where my mate lives in Surrey Hills. So there's plenty of options for primary school teachers, but I don't think you're going to get it. Well, you're not going to get a GSM. I don't think you're going to get state sponsorship. So you need to get your education qualification registered, so you're like licensed or registered as a teacher in the state you're going to move to, and then try and get a work visa by contacting various people. There you go. Hi, the processing times for the $189. The processing time for the 189, it says on the department's website, it's 8 months. The reason it's 8 months is it's been 8 months since they closed off the round, the last round in November. People have 60 days to apply, so they applied by the end of January, or they missed out. So anyone who's left over, they're still going because they're really difficult cases for whatever reason, or they're waiting on health or whatever. There's like less than 10%. It says 8 to 8 months. So, but what we're expecting is it's going to go back to a real number, like 3 to 5 months. So if you got an offer recently, like last month on the 22nd of August, then, and you've made your application pretty quickly, 3 months would be really good because you'll be at the start of the queue, basically, start of the fresh queue, and you'll be picked up real quick. And all those case officers who got moved over to 190 and 491 applications because there were no more 189s to go, they'll all move back, and the 190s and the 491s will take forever again. So processing time, 3 to 5 months if you're lucky before Christmas. If you're a bit slow getting all your documents in, might not be till February next year. Oh, childhood educator, how can I go Dharma? Let's have a look. Childhood educators, I think it comes under the same thing as, maybe it doesn't. Everyone always asks me about family daycare educator. Do you think that's it? Dharma. The Goldfields, get to Coolgardie and Coolgardie, those places. That's the Dharma agreement you need to get to. Someone asked about truck drivers. You're a construction managers, in Perth, you'll get a job as a construction manager and the whole state is a Dharma. So you just need to get, if you're a construction project manager, bang, Western Australia state's listed there as a Dharma. So come as a tourist, see your family and all that kind of stuff, and then bump into a couple of people, apply for some jobs and say, I need to be sponsored under the Dharma agreement because I'm over 45. You do 3 years and then you can get PR on the 191. So you want to go 494. You can do it as 482, but then the company's got to nominate you after 3 years. You want to make sure you've got ongoing work. It's a long project. So if you work, I don't know what kind of construction you're in, but don't work on a single project like building a road that's going to be finished in a year and a half or something like that. You want to work on a project that's got longevity because you're going to have to work there for a while, and then you're going to have to work there while your PR's processing. You might need to work there for 5 years. So if you work in home building where they're just building homes and homes and homes and homes and homes on an ongoing basis, that's a good option for you, okay? Not so good is, I don't know, working on a road or a building that's going to be finished, like a skyscraper that's going to be finished. Truck driver. Truck drivers are on Dharma agreements. And I've done a truck driver, or I'm in the middle of doing a truck driver. So we need truck drivers. The thing with truck drivers is you've got to be licensed, which means you need to be in Australia. You need to have a HC heavy truck driver's license, right? So if you're in Australia, you're all good. You can get your license and all the rest of it. If you're not in Australia, you've got to get to Australia because you can't make an application if you don't have a license. The only way you can get a license is get to Australia, right? So if you're a truck driver, then get to Australia, get your license. You might want to do the course because then you don't need to do a skills assessment because you've got the Australian qualification. I think it's about a 2-month course, maybe 3 months, maybe 4 weeks, depends on which one you pick. But there's certainly a course you can do. If you don't do the course, then you need 2 years work experience full-time as a truck driver to get the skills assessment, and then you need 1 year's work experience after that. So you need 3 years in total to qualify as a truck driver. You can be in any of these locations. Far North Queensland is Cairns, anywhere in Western Australia. Goulburn is like northern Victoria. Anywhere in the Northern Territory. Orana is northwest New South Wales. Regional South Australia. Townsville or anywhere in Western Australia state. So that's the story if you're a truck driver. What about chefs from New South Wales regional? New South Wales, chefs. And people, you can download Aussie Visa Mate and check all this out yourself. Stay up to date. It's all going to change in the next week when all the new state information comes out. So predicted cutoff is 85. No offers in the last round for chefs. So if we look at the states, all the states made offers to chefs last year. New South Wales made 227. In terms of regional, New South Wales did not make any regional offers. They just made state offers. There you go. And so there you go. And you see Queensland in their recent update, they're the only one that's released their 2025, 26 rules. Chefs are only available onshore. If you're an offshore chef, you can't get a 491. So you can still get a 190, but you can't get a 491. So there you go. Yeah. Oh, you better sue that agency. So falsely misleading. Truck driver, PR chances, please. We got no chance for a 1891 90-man G. I told you what you need to do. You need to get on a Dharma agreement. So that's what you need to do. Kalgoorlie and Kalgadi, I think, is the other sister gold mining town. Thanks, Monim. Haven't been to either of those places. Been to Perth. Probably flown over both of them. In fact, I know I've flown over one of them. Ahmed, what about project manager with an engineering background? Well, you're a project manager, aren't you? Ahmed, download Aussie Visa Mate and figure out what your occupation is, right? Because people say to me, oh, I'm a carpenter and I'm an electrician and, oh yeah, I can do that. And we don't care, right? We want to know what you are, not what you could be or what you might be, right? So there's no fluidity in occupations. You're qualified to do one thing, figure out what it is, and then find your occupation, and that's how you can find out what you're doing. It's just me. How about applying onshore for 491 state sponsorship for a primary school teacher? Is there a chance? Well, if we well, firstly, if your visa's running out tomorrow, no, because they're all closed, right? So primary school teachers, is that regional? Regional. No offers were made last year, so I think you got no chance. So you need employment. So if you're a primary school teacher and you can't get employment, I don't know what you're doing. There's a shortage. It's in the skills in demand list, right? There's a massive shortage. So you should be able to get work. Youth worker, Melanie, currently in Australia studying Diploma of Community Services. Well, youth workers are not getting regional sponsorship. They're not getting state sponsorship either, despite being on the list, and they can't get general skills migration. You need work in that field. McDard, great, thank you very much. And send me some roses. 3 roses, appreciate it. We're going strong. Sam sent a rose. We're up to 4 roses. Woohoo! We've only got 12 people watching. Oh well, but we're up to 2,500 likes. Share it out, people. Sam, do you have anyone can sponsor 482 Chef? Yes, I do actually. Sam, drop me a. I got one guy. If anyone's an employer, and they're looking for staff, I'm happy to promote them. So, but Sam, drop me an email. The email's on the page there. Enquiries@dragonmigration.com. And I had a guy. He's in Victoria. Where are you from? I've got a guy. He's in Yarra Glen. He was looking for a chef. So, Cormac, you've booked in for Thursday. I've seen that. No, just come along. We'll talk for an hour, and you can fill me in on your situation. I'll tell you what your best pathway is. Won't be a problem. If anyone else is looking to make a booking, I think you type in booking or meeting.dragonmigration.com and it'll take you there, or you go to the little icon in the top corner, go to my bio and check that out. Community worker, welfare workers. Community workers. Oh, community workers. Can't get general skills migration. State sponsorship. New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia. Small numbers. Western Australia took 181. I think your best chance is Western Australia. Shy. And McDonald sent 3 pussycats. I got 3 pussycats. Thank you very much. I am a cat person, but we have a Pomeranian. And, well, my girlfriend's dog, but yeah, I'm in charge of it, so it always walks with me when we go around the lake. So Pomeranian's quite a nice dog. It's a very friendly dog. Melanie is currently working in the field. Are you the primary school teacher, Melanie? Oh, you're a youth worker. If you're earning $76,515 as a base, then you can get on a 482 visa. Skills in demand. Did I say youth? Youth worker. So, and as you can see here, 1 to 3 years experience. We've got a salary survey there. 60 to 65, 70K. It's not 4 years experience. Salary is 80K to 90K. That's what you probably need 3 or 4 years experience. I don't know what your salary is, right? But if you've got the 76,000 base, then you can get sponsored by your employer. Employer applies for sponsorship. They nominate your position. There you go. And you can do that. Someone's just signed up for my work visa webinar on Friday. So if you're interested in learning about work visas, then I think I'm not sure if it's $5 or $20 at the moment. But it's on Friday, Sydney time, I think 10 o'clock. So you can book that in if you want to find out more. But you need your salary above 76,500, and yeah, that'll all be good. I can't use my finger. I don't have a touch screen. Okay. How about, so primary school teacher, we did primary school teachers in McDard. You need to have, you need to do the contact you either be sponsored by one of the government ones, by the school, or you need to go to the independent sector, the private sector, and get a job there. There's no state sponsorship, and primary school teachers aren't being made offers. So, but you need to go through all the preliminary stuff. As you've got to be a registered teacher in the state that you want to live in. So, if you want to live in Perth, then you've got to go to the West Australian Teachers Board, whatever they're called, find out how you get registered, give them the English requirements, prove that you've got certain numbers of teaching hours as part of your degree, even though you've got 10 years teaching experience. I mean, it's a crazy system. There you go. Raya, looking for 482 aged care sponsorships. Look, go to download Aussie Visa Mate, pay for it, pay for the VIP section, type in aged care, and there is hundreds of aged care, community care places listed who are existing sponsors who can sponsor you, right? If you're looking for an aged care role in Double Bay because you like to be by Manly Beach, well, you're not going to find one, right? But if you go out into a regional area, I can tell you, if you go to Byron Bay, you can go to anywhere. Like, what is the name of that place outside of Byron? Bangalow. If you go to Bangalow, if you go to Byron, if you go to Brunswick Heads, if you go down to Ballina, all of the aged care places there are running on shoestring permanent staff and really expensive contractors earning $2,500 to $3,500 a week. If you go in and say, I need to be sponsored, and they go, oh, well, we can pay you $52,000 because that's the award, and it's going to cost us, I don't know, $6,000 or $10,000 to make a visa application, they're going to jump at the chance because that's going to save them $200,000 in a year. So get to a regional area, start knocking on doors, and you'll get a job as an aged care worker. Of course, you need to have 12 months experience, but that's the situation. Plenty of opportunities for aged care workers. Download Aussie Visa Mate. Check it out. Stock person or pig farmer. Pig farmer is definitely pig farmers. There you go. Regional sponsorship. Did they get one? They did not. So they need to be sponsored. Very hard to get sponsored as a pig farmer. You're basically very difficult. Dharma agreements. Pig farmers. Regional South Australia. So that's an option for you. And if you're a pig farm worker, you only need to be a worker. You don't have to be running the farm, or a senior piggery stock person. Regional South Australia. They're all regional South Australia. So just get outside of Adelaide, hopefully somewhere close to the Barossa. So in your weekends you can have a bit of a tipple, and away you go. Raya Gold. There is the good news for you. Download Aussie Visa Mate. How about childcare worker? Thank you for helping. Oh, dearie me. Childcare workers. Is that early childhood teaching? Is that the same thing? Childcare workers, childcare, early childhood. You got childcare worker as well. Childcare worker, you can be sponsored, right? You can be sponsored, but it's not on. You can't apply independently. So you need a job as a childcare worker. And I don't have any approved sponsors because they're all listed under early childhood. There you go. Melanie, thank you. It's not easy to get invited anywhere. If it was easy to get invited, then everyone would move to Tasmania. And I can tell you they aren't. I don't have the app for Android. I'm not an Android developer. I've given the code to someone else. I've ported it with ChatGPT or Cursor or whatever I use, Cursor. But it's in Kotlin and someone needs to test it. I've sent it to an Android developer. We're waiting. So, and then since then I've built stuff and changed things, and it's very difficult for me to do both applications. So we'll see what happens when I get a compiled version. Carpentry offshore from Fiji is eligible. Well, look, you're eligible, but a lot of states, like Queensland, for instance, you need to be licensed to be a carpenter. All the building trades have to be licensed. So it depends where you're moving to. You need to have licensing. And look, if you can get it, it's like I keep saying, if you can get a job, there's like 20,000 independent applications. There's almost 100,000 work visas being granted now. So, it's 5 to 1, right? And the work visa pathway is a guaranteed pathway. So you should be looking for work as a carpenter. Check that out. Chefs, we've done. I did, Anouk, I talked about enrolled nurses. I did. You missed it. Where were you? Why weren't you watching earlier? I'll do it again just for you. How's that? Because I'm a big fan of the healthcare professions. I'm getting older, so I've got to support them. I might need them soon. Enrolled nurses can't apply independently, and they're listed for state sponsorship, but some states weren't they? So the states that were nurse-friendly, South Australia, Tasmania, and Western Australia. It's not very many spots though, about 50 to 70. And in regional areas, South Australia, Tasmania, and Western Australia once more. So you don't have a great chance. You need to have a shitload of points. You probably need to have a job in all those locations, and so I would suggest that if you've got a job, that you can get a 482 and get on a work visa. It's not easy to get an invite from any state, let alone Tasmania. Thanks, let me download. Hotel manager. What is the chance of IT security specialists? Sam, if you're an app developer, I can get you onto my GitHub and you can go for your life. You can finish it off for me. What is the chances for ICT security? ICT security. I think you need a job, don't you? Oh, I hate it when it does that. ICT security specialist. So it's listed. No offers last round. Oops, that's the same one. State sponsorship. So there's about 20 or so. Apparently Victoria's got massive problems with their ICT security, so they need 120 people, but most other places 20 to 30. So there's hopes. There's hopes. Regionally, again, Western Australia, New South Wales, Tasmania, Victoria. There's hopes. We say you need 95 points. So for state sponsorship, you'd need, if you've got 90 points, then you get 5 for state sponsorship, that you get 95. So, and who knows if they don't offer you, it doesn't matter how many points you got, right? So you'll need a job. So need to check that out. The other thing is you need to look at what the offshore requirements are, because the states have got different lists for onshore and offshore. So tomorrow, my state sponsorship wizard will come out, and then you'll be able to type in, ICT, whatever. Security specialist, was that the one? How much experience you've got, where you're living, what state do you want to move to, how long have you lived there, whether you studied in Australia or not, you did a degree, yes, you completed it, you met the study requirement, and then the results will come out and it'll tell you what pathways you're eligible for. So Aussie visa, mate. Wow, that will be a lifesaver for so many people. Do you know how many, there's 8 states, they've all got at least 4 pathways, because they've got onshore and offshore 190 and 491, so that's 4. And then they've all got an onshore student visa pathway, so that's 5. And then some of them have got priority pathways, and Queensland's got some have got priority, some have got critical, some have got building. Queensland's got a building thing because they thought, we can get the Olympics, yeah, but we're going to need 10,000 construction workers we don't have. Jesus, how are we going to get them? We've only got 600 state places. I mean, Queensland politicians are just muppets, aren't they? Following's free. If you're watching and you're not a follower, following is free. Get onto it. Richard, visa processing people who gets rejected from protection visa, but their child is born in Australia. Well, just because your child's born here doesn't make them a citizen. They've got to be in Australia for 10 years before they become eligible citizens, or unless, of course, you had a child to an Australian permanent resident or citizen, then in case your child is a citizen. But if your child's a citizen, then there's a pathway for you. But if your child's just, between you and your other offshore migrant spouse, well, no special cases there. If your protection visa has been rejected, then you need to leave the country. That's the situation. But Montego, I'm an expert in that field, so drop me a DM or book an appointment and I'll find out about your case and tell you what you can do. I just won't do it live on a channel. What about in South Australia for 109, for the 190, for the 190 points? 75 points, a registered nurse. Is there any chance of getting evasion? I do not think so. You might. You might. Let's have a look. VIP, registered nurse. It was 80, wasn't it? Registered nurses. Registered nurse will do. Not elsewhere classified. So the problem is there's like 6,100 of them, right? So yeah, the cutoff was 80. We predicted it would be 75, but the cutoff was 80. And there's still 215 people on 80 points. So with state sponsorship, you'll get an extra 5 points. So South Australia took 66, but it's only 1% of all of the nurses, right? So you've got tens. There's like if all the 80s, if there's 200 on 80, well, there's going to be even more. There's going to be like 1,000 on or more on 75. Because you've got to have high English requirements and work experience to be a nurse and get your registration. So there's going to be lots of people on 75 points. So if you want to guarantee, then get a job if you're in South Australia. Pedram. It's not easy to get invited in Tasmania. If you're a solicitor, you need to talk to the Tasmanian Legal Professional Board, because you need to be fully. Actually, I don't think you need to be fully. You just need to have a temporary license. You can work for someone else, because licensing is not mandatory for solicitors. But yeah, I wouldn't have thought you'd have enough points with only 80. Solicitor, there's no state offers. Yeah, you need 90 points. So you're not going to get it. No regional offers. No. As a solicitor, you need someone to employ you. Firkin, counsellor not elsewhere classified. NEC. Counsellor, careers counsellor is not elsewhere classified. It's not on the general skills migration list, only available for state sponsorship. Not on the CSOL. If there's no states for you, mate, you're screwed. What about Dharmas? There you go. Furquan, head to Cairns or the Northern Territory or regional South Australia. And counsellors, you'll be doing drug and alcohol in the Northern Territory. Far North Queensland, you'll be doing skin cancer, keep and safe swimming and stuff, counselling. So regional South Australia, they'll be all tipsies in the Barossa, I reckon. So who knows? But there's options for you, Furquan. You should be downloading Aussie Visa, mate, and finding out all about it. Thank you for the following. ECT, we've done ECTs before. Psychiatric nurses. Psychiatric nurses are, let's have a look. Nurse, psychiatric, psych. Oh, they're not there. I don't know. psychotherapy. They're not there. I don't know. It's probably nurse not elsewhere classified. I don't know, but we'd have to. Oh, mental health maybe. That's what a psychonurse would be, surely. Mental health. That's Dharma. Let's have a look. States. Mental health nurses. 253 applicants. Only took 30. 75 points was what we predicted. 80 was the actual. So if you have 80 points, how many points did you say you've got? I'm not sure you said any. Aaron just said points needed. So it was 80 in the last round, but not very many offers, right? But then in terms of states, no offers. Regional, no offers. Not many offers. You'd probably need. You've got to hope that you're at the top of the list. So you need 80 or 85 points to guarantee yourself a spot. That's presuming that they actually make an application. Facts on facts. If your child is a citizen, please, what is the pathway? Look, it's not a simple pathway, and it depends a little bit on your situation. So what you should do, facts, is you should book an appointment with me or someone else, and we can run through your background and what you need to do. But you look at I did actually have one case where a long time ago, when the guy, it was he was a fucking stupid American, I can tell you. He was on Texas's 10 Most Wanted, and he came here and said he didn't have a criminal record. They hadn't actually caught him, so he hadn't been charged with anything, and he was here forever. And we went for ministerial intervention in the end because he couldn't apply for anything. And what's her name? The Liberal woman who I cannot stand. Anyway, she rejected him. I don't know what happened to him after that. I assume he left the country. But yeah, it was quite sad. But look, if you don't have a criminal background, if you just applied for protection and that's been rejected, but your child's over 10 or whatever, that's typically the way it happens. Or if you've had a child to an Australian citizen, if you've got a child to an Australian citizen, just lodge a spouse application. But you should just book an appointment with me, and I'll find out your facts and tell you what your pathway is and help you out. It's not the kind of, it's very, very complex. It's not the kind of thing you can do yourself. So you don't need to go through me. You can go through someone else, but Pariar Manish, I have 80 points in ECT. Forget about points, get a job, right? Forget about states. If you're an ECT, you need a job. There's going to be 10,000. There's almost 7,000 now. There's going to be 10,000 by the end of the year. ECTs looking for PR. It's not a surefire way. That course you need to. Queensland said we're not even looking at diplomas. Queensland said if you don't have a degree, we're not even going to offer you state sponsorship. So you need a job is what you need. How about construction? Alex Kim, how about construction project managers on a 189? We're up to 5,800 likes. Go on the likes. Pretty cool. Still only got 5 gifts though. Gifting people, come on. Help the channel out. Bump us up the rankings. And of course you can download Aussie Visa Mate. Construction project manager. Construction project manager, there it is. Whoop. So it's on the list. Oh my God, we predicted 80, but the cutoff was 90. 90. Oh my God. That's a month ago. 90. Wow. Obviously, we need lots of construction project managers. States, New South Wales, look at that, 300 offers. Western Australia just took 73. Queensland, they're building an Olympics. They only needed 41 this week. South Australia, 35. Victoria, 61. Regional areas, New South Wales 150, Queensland 25. So the Queensland ones, they'll all be down at the Gold Coast. So if you get a regional offer, no doubt. So Sheikh Hassan is looking for sponsors. Is there anyone? I think I'm gonna write a newsletter to all the sponsors. I don't have their email addresses, but I've got all their websites and stuff. And I got a week and a half off Thai classes. So I'm thinking I might clean up my employers database, get all their email addresses, put them on a mailing list, and see if anyone wants to sponsor the channel in return for getting some employees cheaper than paying a recruiter. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at doing, but not currently there yet. Alex is in Queensland. We covered you, Alex. Covered Queensland. Annis, I played Annis no I didn't. No, I played Caiaphas. Annis is a character in Jesus Christ Superstar. And you're a physiotherapist. Let's have a look at physios. Physiotherapists, 75 points you need. Well, you need 80 points. We predicted you need 75. So we've done enrolled nurses. You'll need to download Aussie Visa, mate, and look it up. Mr. Thunder sent a heart me. That's the other thing. I don't know what the story is with heart me's, but TikTok's got something about fan clubs or something like that. If you can send me a heart me or join my fan club, that's apparently a good thing for me. I don't know if it cost you anything. It probably only cost you a cent. I'm not sure it'll help me for anything, but if someone's there and a banner comes across my head saying join my fan club, click on that, pay me a cent, and that'd be a useful thing. Maybe, I don't know, but it might push the channel up the rankings. We got 43 people watching, and you can definitely follow for free. If you're not a follower, that's another good thing that you can do. If two overstays married each other, what visa can they apply for? Well, they can't apply for anything because neither of you are permanent residents, or you're going home. Leave. If you're unlawful, the only visa you can apply for is a protection visa, like the only substantive visa. If you get into trouble, like medical treatment or things like that, or you witness a crime, criminal justice visas and things like that, but they're not permanent visas. So if you overstay, the best thing for you to do is to leave before you get caught, and then apply to come back, right? Some of the visas you might be able to get back without a 3-year ban. I think on the 186 direct entry, if you can get an employer to sponsor your 186 direct entry, you might be able to get back in like that. Again, look, you got to pay for some advice, and you got to pay for some advice. You can't get on a TikTok channel and just go, hey, look, we overstayed, blah blah blah. I think I hold the record for the person with the longest overstay, and I got them citizenship. I had a guy who was unlawful for 23 years. I can't remember if it was my second. I think it was my second case. It was either my second or my fourth case. I was just out of the migration course, and this guy rang up, and I just could not believe it. It was a full-on shit show. His family had moved here from China. His daughter was doing her HSC. His wife was here on a student guardian visa. His son had finished hairdressing. What a surprise! And he'd been unlawful for 23 years. Got anonymously dobbed in, and I got him out of detention. I got him his permanent residence, and then we got him citizenship. So. Yeah, 23 years. Anyone's got someone who's been unlawful for longer than that, find out and let me know. But in the 20 odd years, 2009, I started as a registered agent. So in almost 20 years, I haven't had anyone. I heard someone 21 years, but I beat them. So yeah, that's a pretty cool story. And he was a lovely guy. He could barely speak English, but he was a lovely guy. Yes. So he had the name of a very famous actor. So, yes, but it wasn't that famous actor. Physiotherapists, we've done. Enrolled nurses, we've done. such a long time for the last set of 189 invites. Reckon it will be similar time frame again. I do. The last 2 years has been November. They do them. Gets people, it's Merry Christmas, isn't it? Look, I've got my PR application. You do your application, and then in the new year you're going to be moving to Australia, or you're going to be staying in Australia. So November's a good time frame. If they do 10,000 again, it'll be the offers will fall down, and would be good. Bikade girl. Applied to 186 visa in April, living in regional. When can we expect an outcome? So one of the good things about Aussie Visa Mate, which you can download from the App Store, link there, avm.dragonmigration.com. Processing times, they get updated each month when the department updates them, and you can go 186 direct entry. Did you say direct entry? You didn't say. But anyway, direct entry, 12 to 18 months. So April next year. Forever 295, 90 points, mental health nurse. Did we do you before? We did mental health nurses. VIPs. Registered. Mental. Environmental. You think you're going to make a little, you're going to do a shortcut, rather than type the whole word registered, you just type mental and then it's all the environmental. No good. Okay, you need 80 points. No state offers, no regional offers. If you don't have 80 points for 190, so, well, forever, you should have got one. Physios we've done. Okay, you're on a 482 as a cafe restaurant manager. They took off the list. What are my options? Well, you get 2 years as a cafe restaurant manager and you go to 186 transition. That's it. There's no list for transition. The only requirement is you've been on a 482 for 2 years. Direct entry, there's a list, right? Transition, 2 years on a 482. So as long as you're at 2 years on your 482, and you strong arm your boss and say, you'd better nominate me or you're going to get a knife in the back, you're in. Of course, they don't condone violence. I'm being facetious. But, there you go. Any good news on 309? Mr. Thunder, there's no news on the 309s. It's 17 to 27 months or something, processing times. Mr. Thunder, I always think thunderstruck. 17 to 26 months. It's not good, but I do appreciate you supporting the channel so much, Mr. Thunder. You're here almost every day, and as soon as we get an update, you'll know. But next Tuesday, these times will update, so hopefully something good will happen. Please don't spam the channel, people, because I just can't find where I'm up to, and then I miss people. Just ask me once, and I'll get to you eventually. What we're doing here, you just popped up. Jade, going to try for 491 for clinical coder. Really? Clinical coder? I don't even know what that is. Clinical. Well, oh, there it is. Clinical coder. 491. 491. No offers. No offers for anyone. It's on the Seasol. If you've got a job, then apply. It's on the Dharma agreement for Western Australia, which isn't New South Wales, but if you're looking to stay, check that out. Storytellers applied for a 494 in Townsville. It's been 4 months. Occasionally delivery driver. Any chance? Well, if you've applied, the processing time I think is 8 to 9 months for a 494. 494 employer, 8 to 13 months. Labour agreement if you're on a Dharma, 8 to 11 months. So you've got a bit of a wait. If you're in the country, I assume you are as a delivery driver, at least you're working and, you're just waiting for your visa to come through. You'd be cool. Kai and Hannah, what if you overstay with a citizen partner? Well, if you've got a citizen partner, you make a spouse application, you'll need to meet Schedule 3 requirements, right? You need to get a Schedule 3 waiver. You can get that waiver if you're in a long-term relationship, which has been together for 3 years, or you've got children of the relationship, then you get that waiver effectively automatically. The department says we'll grant that waiver. It's in their policy, right? but you need to show a compelling reason, and that's not defined. So, and compelling means that I think the legal definition was something like you feel moved, you feel compelled, you feel moved. So if you got a sob story about why you should apply onshore and not offshore, then that goes beyond the department says something like the regular. What do they say? They've got a terrible way of saying it. Anyway, look, families should be together. You've got a partnership. You need a Schedule 3 waiver, Kai and Anna. So and you definitely need to use an agent or a lawyer to make that application for you. If you want me to do it for you, happy to. So, but if you've got a child, you'll get it. If you've been together for 3 years, you'll get it. Things like, if someone's sick and they can't work, or you've got a mortgage and both of you need to work to pay it, or other debts, you need both incomes to support yourself. It's not a particularly hard threshold to meet. The problem with it is waivers are discretionary and you can't apply for it before you lodge the visa. So you're going to pay $9,500 to apply for the visa, and then you're going to have to say, well, this is why we need this waiver. And if they don't grant it to you, well, you've got to appeal, and that's going to take another 2 or 3 years. By then, of course, you will have 3 years, and you'll get it definitely at appeal. But I mean, you're already unlawful, but you could be unlawful for another 4 or 5 years waiting for it. So look, make an appointment with me, and we'll sort it out. But you certainly, if you're using someone professional like me, you won't be leaving the country, and you'll definitely be staying. So there you go. User, we've done you. Forever, we've done. Chica, does careers have eligibility? What's a career? Don't know what you're talking about, Chica. User, forever. Are you still? No. Construction project manager on 189, the best points. I think they needed 90 points. Construction project managers. Sandeep, 801. Why cabinet makers not invited for the 189? They haven't been for a long time, trucker. Because all you do is make boxes, right? So get a job working for a kitchen maker or whoever else uses cabinet makers. And 482 is the way to go. 801 processing time. Processing times are in Aussie Visa, mate. You can download it and it gets updated each month. 9 to 18 months. Accountants, we haven't done accountants, but accountants need to be employed, right? You need a job as an accountant. There's almost 10,000 accountants listed. So unless you are got massive points, we predicted 95. There were no offers last round. Last year for state sponsorship, Tasmania took 450. My God, they must have needed crap loads of accountants down in Tasmania. Maybe the ATO set up a office down in Tasmania, who knows. Interestingly, ACT took 53. Regional areas, again, the Northern Territory took a lot of accountants. Tasmania took another 400. That's not all accountants, that's family members as well, but even still it's a large number. So those are your options for state sponsorship, but you still need, well, if the points are 90, you need 85 points to get state offer, and then you need 75 points to get a regional offer. And you need to, most of the state offers require you to have employment in the field. If you're employed as an accountant, you don't want a state visa which is going to take 2 years to process. You want a 482 and get your PR that way. It's not a smart move. Carol Bridget, where'd it go? I saw the name. Ah, there it is. 100 points, social worker in Queensland. Oh, social workers. Social workers. Okay, well, you need 80 points. There were no offers last round. And in Queensland, they didn't make an offer. It's not on the list. Not on the list. So social workers, New South Wales only for regional, and Western Australia, Victoria, or New South Wales. So doesn't matter how many points you've got, if they're not making offers, Carol, sorry, you need to change states, or you can be employed by your sponsor, because if you can be employed by your sponsor. If you get sponsored, you can get an employment visa, 482. God, I need a drink of water or something. How about 500 processing time? Well, it's in the toolkit, processing times, 500s. Depends on what course you're doing, but ELICOS, 1 month to 8 months. Higher education, which is universities, 1 month to 5 months. And VET, 5 months to 13 months. It's not really the right time of the year to be applying for, certainly for universities, because the campuses don't start till February, March. So you probably won't start applying until like November, and then they'll move a whole heap of people into process, the millions of them that we'll get. Processing, no one knows when Victoria's going to open. Network engineers in Victoria for 3.5 hours. Any chance for 3.5 hours? It's nowhere near enough time. Network, any chance to find a sponsor? Currently here, have 90 for 190. So you've got 85 points. So if you download Aussie Visa, mate, you'll be able to check it all out for a network engineer. Network. Is that a CNSE? I think it is. CNSE. On the list, you need 100 points, which means, and there were no offers last round. 100 points is bloody high. States, Victoria took 53, and regional, Victoria took 45. You'd need to have employment to qualify in Victoria. So, you don't. I don't think you've got enough points. But if you've got the job, then you can. If you got the job, then you can get sponsored on a 482. It's the way to go. How many people on construction manager? Well, I have that figure. Do I? Project manager. Construction project manager. There's 1,900 construction project managers, and last year we offered 360, so which is about 20%. Looking for an ECT subject, you got to keep looking. Head to a regional area is what I'd do. Can I do a skills assessment before graduation? Well, you can do it before your graduation ceremony, but you can't do it before you graduate because you don't have the qualification. So it's sort of a rhetorical question. Sunka, 3.5 years, we've answered your question. Victoria, I don't predict the future. Very soon, sometime in October. Civil engineering technician in Queensland. How are we going with the likes and shares? And we're only up to five hearts, all that. If people fanned me and all that kind of stuff. Keep supporting the channel, people. I'll keep supporting you while you keep supporting me. Civil engineering. Was it draftsperson? Technician. On all the lists, 85 points was the predicted cutoff, but it was 90 was the actual cutoff a month ago. States, Queensland is out, listed but no offers last year. Regional, listed, no offers. So in Queensland, I can tell you because I just did it the other day. Queensland, you need work, and you need 6 months work in your field, you need 9 months work in your field, and if you're in a regional area, you need 6 months work in your field. If you've got employment, just get on a 482 visa. Why would you? Well, you might get a 190 application. I can understand that, but the processing time is still 2 years. It's crazy long that you'll have to wait on a bridging visa. So anyway, civil draftsperson. Is there chances for 491? Civil draftsperson. Okay, let's go back. There's almost 5,000 civil draftsperson, and we took 700 last year, which is 1 in 7, so 14% chance. 90 points was the latest round offer. Western Australia took 326 last year for state, and for regional took 273, but 90 points. So I don't know how many points you've got. There's chances, 90 points, but you have to look at when Western Australia opens up, what their criteria is. I think you need 12 months work experience in Western Australia. And I don't know, they've got two occupation lists. They've got the Way Small 1 and the Way Small 2. So if it's in Way Small 1, then that's really priority, and then Way Small 2 is all the other sort of jobs. I don't know which one's which, but you need to check it out. Jazz meat, how many people are an agronomist? Agronomist. Jesus. Agronomist. It's not on the 189 list, so we don't know. It's only on the CSOL, so we don't know. We don't have figures. Maybe agriculture scientist is a different one. Agricultural scientist. Okay, that's on the list. 261. 90 was the cutoff. So I don't know how many points you've got. Registered nurse for 190. So you've got 10 months experience in Queensland. So you meet their work experience requirement. You need 9 months. And you've got a job. So I assume you've got a job. If you've got a job, then you might get sponsorship in Queensland. You might get an offer. Depends on your points. We don't know what the points are for state level. Which one is easy to get? Well, you need to have a job. You didn't say, Nikki, you didn't say whether you got a job or not. CNC machine operator. Oh, dearie me. CNC operator, it's not on the list. Machinist is not on the list. Operator, it's on Dharma agreements. Regional South Australia, if you're a chef quat, if you're in regional South Australia, get near the Barossa, have a tipple after work, get on some of that Wolf Blast. 85 points, ACT, Computer Systems Network, any chance. ICT, what are you? Computer Systems and Networking. Well, it's not an occupation, champ, so I don't know what your occupation is. Download. G'day, Doris. Doris is back. Doris pops in. Doris is like Mr. What's his name? He's always popping in and saying hello. Yeah, there you go. Enrolled nurse, we've already done June aid. You can download the app and look it up. Menderstein, you're a carpenter, 65 points. So you got 60 points. You don't have enough points, basically. So you got 60 points. You don't have enough points. And South Australia, all these state ones, they always say you need to have 65 points. So I don't even think you've got the base points needed to get state sponsorship. You need work, 482 visa in South Australia. I'm pretty sure you have no chance. But tomorrow, or maybe the day after, depending on how long Apple takes, we've got the new toolkit, the state sponsorship wizard. You'll be able to type in your experience, your location where you're living, and whether you study in Australia, and then it will come back and it will tell you what streams you are eligible for. Then you'll need to do the points and all that kind of stuff. So, what about geologist? How many points we need in New South Wales? Oops, VIP. Geologists. You can download all this from Aussie Visa, mate. Geologists. It's not, you can't get permanent residence through the 189. It's listed for states. No offers. I'm not surprised. Regional, no offers. No. So it's listed on the CSOL. You need a job for geologist. Taranath girl or Giri. Taranath Giri. My nose is going. My ears are going. Radiographer. That's, I think that one, diagnostic and interventional radiologist. I think that's it. Yep. That can't be right. 85 points. We don't take very many. I think radiographers get sponsored. So 85 points was with less than 10 offered. So maybe one or two people snuck in. States took no one. Regions took no one. I think you need employment as a radiographer. Cabinet builder. Oh, got a rose from Ost. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay. Ost, aged care workers. So aged care workers are not listed, right? But there's a labour agreement for the aged care industry. So you can be sponsored on a 482 visa or a 494 visa under the labour agreement stream. And if you've got Aussie Visa, mate, and you go to the job sponsors, there's a whole crap load of approved sponsors who can sponsor you under that labour agreement. And so you should be able to find a job. If you're an aged care worker, I lived in Byron Bay for 6 years, and Bangalore, Byron, Mullumbimby, down at Ballina, up at Brunswick Heads, all the aged care places there have got a skeleton staff of like 10 or 20 people, and they've got like 50 contractors who they're paying $2,500, $3,500 a week. Get into those kind of areas where people aren't where people aren't full-time employed, they're contracting, and you will get work. It's not difficult if you go to a regional area. How about civil engineering drafting in New South Wales? We did civil engineers, so I'm not going to cover it again. Ost, thanks for the roses. Civil engineers are in huge demand in Western Australia, and they were accepted in most places. You can download the app, Aussie Visa Mate, link there, avm.dragonmigration.com. It'll take you directly to the App Store. Check it out. How to ask the company to engage the sponsorship thing. Rohit, if you're a cabinet maker, you need to be employed. There's no offers for cabinet makers. How to ask the company to sponsor. Look, you can. Look, the thing is that on your resume, you just got to be upfront and you say, look, I need to be sponsored, right? There's no point going through an interview process if they're not willing to sponsor you. But you sort of don't want to. You need to get your foot in the door as well. Oftentimes, it's good if you can if you just say, look, can I come and do a week's work experience with you, or show you what I do, and make some friends, make sure you get along with everyone, suck up to them, rah rah rah, and then when they want you, they say, oh look, I just need to be sponsored. So there's ways around it. If you just put on your resume, require sponsorship, they'd probably just bin you straight away. You got to be a little bit clever about what you do. Safety jobs. Any safety jobs? I think someone asked about the safety inspectors. No, what do they call the lollipop people? Or is that the occupational health and safety one? No, that's not it. Construction. I can't remember what it was now. Traffic control. Road traffic controller. Road traffic controller, not on the list, but it's on the Dharma agreement in the Northern Territory. If you want to go up to the Northern Territory, or the Pilbara, which is where they mine iron. So you can check that out. So Miramar, in the Territory, all you need to have is 3 years experience making coffee, and you can get permanent residence. Baristas is on their Dharma list, and it's actually one of the 10 most requested skills assessments for Dharma agreements is barista. So barista or traffic controllers. Head to the Northern Territory or the Pilbara. Air conditioner, multi-technician. There's air. In Thailand, they shorten everything's just called air. The air. They call it the air. And it's krang air, and krang means machine. It's the air machine. So there you go. Learn a bit of new. Air conditioning and refrigeration mechanic. I assume that's what you are. So it's in Dharma agreements. It's on the 189. Fewer than 10 offers. No offers last 2 years. States. Oops, wrong one. States. New South Wales took 23. I suppose they've got a lot of tall buildings. No regional. So basically, air conditioning mechanics need to be employed, need a job. AM, you've got registration and nurse and positive skills assessment. Do I have sponsorship? Well, look, the sponsors for nurses, it's a who's who of hospitals and healthcare in Australia, isn't it? So they're all job sponsors. Yeah, give me. There we go. East Metropolitan Health Service, Baptcare, Northeast Health Wangaratta, Darlingford Upper Goulburn Nursing Home, Life Without Barriers, St Luke's Care, Hills Medical. I mean, there's every hospital, every private healther. They're already approved sponsors. So the list there. If they're in green, there you go. If they're in green, then they've got a current job opening, and if they're in red, it means they've listed it somewhere in the last 12 months. So there you go. Download Aussie Visa, mate, and make your life a bit easier. Rohit's employed, so that means you'd be eligible in Queensland. I think you're the Queenslander. Aussie followed the host, thank you very much. School counsellor. I don't know. School counsellor. I think you need to be sponsored as a school counsellor, surely. I can't even spell school. 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 It's not there. It must be a counsellor of some other description. Careers counsellor. Is that a school counsellor? Student counsellor. No state offers, no regional offers. Got to be employed. Okay. Miramar, do you need a degree for barista? No, you don't. You don't need any formal education, but you would need 2 years work experience. But if you've got a Cert 2 in coffee making, I don't know what the course is called, but you'd need a Cert 2, which will be, I don't know, if you go and make coffee for 8 weeks or something, learn how to add milk or not burn yourself, and do things on safety of cleaning coffee machines, and don't put your finger in the grinder and things. I've got no idea. So, but in the absence of a formal education, you need 2 years work experience, and you need 1 year post-qualification experience to get a skills assessment. So if you've been doing the job for 3 years, you can get there. Miramar. Motor mechanic. There's demand everywhere. Go to Western Australia. It's a large, big area. I looked on Seek the other day for a mechanic who was moving to Perth, and there's a lot of EV technicians. So it doesn't. If you search for motor mechanic, it doesn't come up, but EV technicians, and they're the people who go around and service EVs, electric vehicles, because there's no dealer network and things like that. So that's one you can look for. You'll need to do a skills assessment. You might need to get licensed as well. Traffic controller Dharma, I just said, it's up in the Pilbara or anywhere in the Northern Territory. Without skills assessment for possible of Dharma 194. I think you meant a 494. Dharmas, you need to have a skills assessment. It's not like a 482. So you'll need to do a skills assessment. Usually with the Dharmas, it's written into the Dharma. It's not part of the legislation. So the legislation basically says meet the requirements of the skills, meet the requirements of the labour agreement or of the Dharma agreement. So whatever's in the Dharma agreement. The Dharma agreement's got unions involved. The unions say we want you to be skills assessed. It's that simple. So Miramar, what nationality are on the top attaining work sponsorship visas? Well, I'd assume it's like the English, but I could be wrong. But there's a lot of people come through on the working holiday program, about 250,000 people on the working holiday scheme at the moment, and the greater majority of those are English and Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and then they go on. That's their typical pathway is to work on their working holiday visa and then get sponsored by their employer. So I'd be surprised, but I'm not sure that it's like the H-1B in the US where they're all Indian. So I could be wrong. I don't know. So I don't, and in fact I don't even know what the stats are. But sure, look, certainly there's a lot of Indians here on student visas, but most of them try and do independent pathways and things like that. There's a lot of Indians in the appeals system as well who just don't want to go home despite the fact they can't stay. So, which is much different to the Chinese. The Chinese do their courses here and then predominantly a lot of them leave. So they go home to get their work experience and things like that. There's a major difference between those two ethnic groups. Electrical fitter, 189. Electrical fitter, technician. It's not there. Marine fitter, no. I just type in fitter. Fitter general, that's what you are. It's on the list. 75 is the cutoff. You need a job, no offers. It's on the list, but there's no offers. New South Wales did some state, and so did South Australia. New South Wales did some regional. South Australia did not. Travel with Dan, 65 points. People are watching. If you're there, if you're watching and you're not a follower, follow. Following's free, cost you nothing. Do it. Support the channel. Rigid fitters. Travel with Dan, 65 points. You're a primary teacher. Primary teachers need jobs, right? They can't be sponsored independently. They need to be the states didn't sponsor any primary teachers. We did them earlier. Primary. Primary school teacher. Oh, some states did. New South Wales, Victoria, and Western Australia, they took 25 each. It's not many, and that's actually not the number of teachers. That's the number of people in their family units as well. So, as I said last time, it's probably only 6. It could be 6. If you're married to a teacher and you've got 2 kids, well, it's 6 or 7 teachers in each state. It's not very many primary school teachers. And in the regions, they took none. So, but if you go to the job sponsors, it's a who's who of primary schools around the country and private schools who are already approved sponsors and who can employ you. And all the ones that are green are looking right now. So you can see there's lots of schools looking for teachers. So they're in demand. Download the app and start contacting them, making applications. Did electrical fitters, plant operator, currently working in Voila, where? I lost it again. Plant operator, currently working in somewhere environmental services. You're a plant operator. Well, can't you get sponsored as a plant operator? Plant operator, earth moving plant operator, paving plant operator, mobile plant operator, logging plant operator. I mean, there's all different types of plant operators. So I'm not sure which one you are. I'll go for earth moving. It's not on any list, but there's DARMA agreements. So, and the DARMA agreements are wide ranging. Cairns, anywhere in Western Australia, anywhere in the Northern Territory. South Coast Victoria, which is down Warrnambool Way. Orana, which is northwest New South Wales. So plenty of spaces. I don't know where Veolia Environmental Services is, but if you're in one of those areas or if you're a different type of plant operator, download look, you can either download Aussie Visa Mate, right, and pay the subscription to look it up in 5 seconds, or you can spend a weekend looking at 13 different Dharma agreements trying to find which one you're in. So people say to me, oh, but you do it so quickly, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, because I spent like months putting all the data together. So, yes, it's easy when you know how. I think skills assessments are valid for 2 years, maybe 3. I'm not exactly sure. But I don't know. I think it's 2 years. Time frame for 491 visa grant lodged 5 months ago. Well, 491 processing times. It's Aussie Visa Mate there in the free part of the app in the toolkit. What do we say? 494, 491. Well, so it said 4 to 23 months. If you haven't been done in 4 months, right, it's going to blow out because they hijacked the figures and they processed a large number of recent ones for some reason, and they brought in the processing. But the thing is that the 491s have got the least priority. 189s, 190, 491s, all the 189 offs are coming through now. If it hasn't been granted by now, if you don't have a case officer, then you'll be waiting another 12 months at least. Sanjay, my previous JRP result expired after 3 years. Each Dharma in motor mechanic has a different assessment. I don't know. All you need to do is get a job as a motor mechanic, and then once you've got it, you do the skills assessment. I think they go to vet assess, but I don't know what all 13 Dharmas do. I look at them one by one as I get them. So yes. For how long physio? I don't know. I'm in Finland. You're in Finland. You can apply, but you've got a lesser chance. What about, we did medical diagnostic radiographers before. Bettina, you can download the app and have a look. Jackie, student visa, then I can apply PR. Unlikely, certainly very unlikely from an undergraduate. Most people, look, we've got 1.1 million student visa holders in Australia, and we've got maybe say 30,000 places in general skills migration. So that's a 30 to 1 sort of, thing. It's student visa is not a pathway to PR. It's employment is what you want to be looking at. So student visa, get qualified. Graduate visa, 12 months, get work. You got work qualification, get a work visa, 2 years, 2 years, permanent residence on the 186. You sort of need an 8 to 10 year plan, and then you need to hope that you like your occupation and you like your employer and you like Australia and all that kind of stuff. Environmental engineers need jobs. Time frame for nomination, subclass 407. Last I looked, its process time I think is about 11 months. The ridiculous thing about training visa, 8 to 10 months, right? You lodge it and you start work, and it doesn't matter if they grant it or they don't grant it. You get your 12 months work experience, don't you? And then you can just apply for a 482. So, if you don't have work experience, just lodge a training visa, and start getting your 12 months work experience. So there's no point training in a field that you're not trying to get a 482 for. So, But Tina, I've already looked it up. What's your suggestion for painting? Painters need jobs. You need employment, and you need employment under a tax file number, not as a subcontractor. Amrit, explain the Queensland carpenter. I don't. You book an appointment to talk about carpenters, and I will sort you out. Just got here. What's the name of the app? The app is Aussie Visa Mate, and you can see there's a link down here, avm.dragonmigration.com. It's just a redirect to the App Store. But people keep saying, I can't find it in the App Store. So I set up a redirect. So if you just type in avm.dragonmigration.com, it'll redirect to the App Store, to the page where the app is, and you can download it. Okay? What are the chances of BED? I assume it's a Bachelor of Education. 482s are taking 3 to 5 months, Bettina. And that'll update next week. There'll probably be 3.5 to 6 months next week because they're well understaffed. If you've got a Bachelor of Education, especially look, if you've got a Bachelor of Education in Australia, it's a 4-year degree and it's got all the requirements to get registered. At the end of the Bachelor, you will be a registered teacher and you should get a job in. You get on a 485 graduate visa, you get 12 months experience, and I think it's good. Probably best if you're doing secondary rather than primary, but all good. Registered nurses have already done. I've suggested painters need work. K, if you've got a master's in environment, if you're an environmental engineer, you need work. So it doesn't matter what state you're in, you need the state of employment. Don't worry about where you're living, get a job, and 482 is the way to go. You need to get 12 months work experience on your 485. So any job where you can get 12 months work experience. Off the top of my head, people always ask me, Sanjay, about these 40-20 things. It's 3 years from the date of the decision. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's 3 years from the date of the decision. So you can't apply, and you can't apply for 3 years. It's in all the visas, and you can't get it waived. So yeah. No waiver provisions. False or misleading information, Sanjay. You're a naughty, naughty man. Naughty, naughty man. Of course, you know the craziness about a 40-20 is you can make an innocent mistake, and that's misleading, right? So false is an untruth. You've lied, but misleading just means that there's a misrepresentation, or there's an error, or there's a mistake. Doesn't matter. It's misleading. So this is why I always say to people, if you've got a criminal record, you should always get a copy of it, because if your criminal record lists 3 things, like, I don't know, drink driving and a DVO and a common assault, for instance, right? But the common assault, you went to jail for 6 months, and you say, oh, well, I had common assault for 6 months, that's what you write on your thing, and then you attach your police clearance and it's got 3 things, well, you're going to get a 40-20 because you didn't say in the application that you had all 3 things. You just said, I had common assault. That was the only one that's relevant, but you didn't say everything that was on your police clearance. So you got to be really, really careful if you've got any issues like that about being not even being completely honest, but completely thorough in your applications. So, which says better for painters and points recommended? Painters need jobs, okay? I think Victoria was the only one who offered them, not very many. Don't know the fee for the training visa, I'd have to look it up. How is the 186 process? Well, look, there's two 186 stream, well, there's 3, but the 2 main ones are the transition stream, where you've been on a 482 work visa for 2 years and you can get nominated for permanent residence. And the other one is direct entry, where if you've got a skills assessment and 3 years work experience, you can be nominated for direct entry. Now, most employers aren't going to say to an unknown person, I'll nominate you for direct entry, but it might be the case, like if you're an Irish lad, you've been working for a company here on your working holiday visa, and you've done it a year or 2, and you say, look, I don't want to do a work visa because the processing time for PR is too long. Can you do me direct entry? I'll still be here for the next 14 months because they're taking forever. Then your employer might do that, right? But if you're offshore and trying to get direct entry, I think it's very, very difficult. The I'd get rid of direct entry. I don't believe in it, but the reason it exists is because big companies like PwC, who are sort of international, and they want to move their staff around. Their staff want to get their PR because they've got families and they want to get kids in schooling, and they don't want to have to pay international school fees and all that kind of stuff. So, back in the day when they were processed in 3 months, you could sort of say, in November, lodge your application and start the kids in school in February, and all would run smoothly, and it was all really good for those partners in PwC and big firms and things like that. But now that they take 14 months to process, it's a bit of a waste of time. What else? Moonstar. There's no better. Look, there's no better occupation, right? There's no. You want a good occupation, become a doctor, right? Doctors are always going to be in demand, right? But there's no shortcut. We've got literally 20 times more people as we've got visa places. If there was a shortcut and someone on TikTok was telling you what it is, well, everyone knows about it, right? So it's not going to be a shortcut much longer. Like 12 months ago, everyone was saying early childhood, early childhood. Now they're all saying carpenters, carpenters. Well, now there's going to be 11,000 people doing early childhood by Christmas. It's not going to be a shortcut for anyone, right? We've got people flooded with diplomas of early childcare, right? My agent, Sanjay, did respond to IMI and asked for a 657 extension lease refusal of 189. My bad. Well, it's not a 40/20, but you got a refusal. So, well, yeah, hope your agent was on shore and he's got professional indemnity insurance. Doesn't sounds like a professional indemnity nightmare for me. Deary me. But the other thing is that like he's your agent, but did he tell you about it? If you had it, weren't you like my clients are like ringing me out, if you lodge this, if you lodge this, if you lodge this, and I'm like, yeah, fucking lodged it, get off my case, right? So if you get for most people if you're an agent, for most people, it doesn't matter when you lodge their application, but the moment you've got someone who's got a deadline, their visa's expiring, or whatever it might be, they've got 28 days to respond, they've got an appeal, it's got 3 weeks or 35 days or whatever the time frame is, the first thing you do as an agent is you put it in your diary, and then you put it 7 days before, so you make sure you've covered it before you can do it. Because I can tell you what, the visa applicants, they've put it in their diary. They've got it in their diary going, okay, call Mark on this day and find out that he's done it. And, have you done this? Have you done this? So, oh, God. Mayor Bob, I'm on a bridging visa C for 482. We're going for 8 more minutes, people. Sanjay, drop me a, I can't answer your question on a live chat. It's too complex a case. You need to book an appointment, and I can tell you what the situation is. Get the facts, and I can tell you what to do. Mayor Bob, on bridging visa C, 482 TSS, and SBS is sponsored, is cancelled. What option is left? Oh God, Mayor Bob. So, well, you need. I don't know what your occupation is, but if you can get another sponsor, then you can still lodge an application because you're on a bridging visa C. So if you can get another sponsor and another nomination going, then you can transfer the You might not be able to transfer the TSS now because you might need to do the whole thing again because you can't do a nomination again for a 482. Yes. Oh, so complex. So complex. I feel sorry for you. But I tell you what, if the sponsor's sponsorship was cancelled, then they probably weren't going to end up paying you or paying your superannuation, or someone's made a complaint about them, or they're paying someone cash. They weren't doing the right thing. They weren't a good company to be working for. What I'm saying is somewhere along the way, you were going to be screwed. Probably best it happens at the beginning rather at the end when you find out that they haven't paid you and they're not going to sponsor you, or they can't sponsor you because their sponsorship's cancelled. Lopda, if I got a bridging 491, would we better to apply 186 direct entry? Well, if your employer will do a direct entry, and if you're bridging visa A or C, I think you can apply 186 direct entry. Yes, if your employer will do it, if you've got an employer who'll do it. Like if you're eligible, why do a 49? Well, if you've already got the bridging for the 491, you might as well wait. Otherwise, you have to pay more fees. You might as well wait. There's no point. There's no point spending more money and waiting. You still be waiting 14 months. Moonstar, do whatever's going to make you the most money. That's what you need to do. Simran, I recently passed my citizenship test. Congratulations. Can I travel overseas and where to update? Okay, so you've passed the test. The second phase is to make the application. Before you make the application, you need to meet the residence requirement, and the residence requirement is that you've been in Australia for 3 of the last 4 years and 9 of the last 12 months. So you can travel overseas, you can go on a month's holiday, 9 of the last 12 months. You can't go for 6 months, you can't go for 4 months. I suggest you don't go for 3 months because there'll be some fucking volcano go off or a rocket go off or something will happen or a plane will break down and you'll overstay a day and then you'll be back to square one, right? So the smartest thing to do, right, is if you don't have to go, don't go. Go for a week or 2 weeks, do that. Don't have a heart attack over there or do any crazy adventure things which is going to land you with a broken leg in a hospital for 8 weeks or anything like that. Like, don't risk it. You're so close, right? Just apply for citizenship and lodge that application. Once you've lodged it, I'm pretty sure you can leave after that. I'm pretty sure it's a time of application criteria, meeting the residence requirement. But congratulations, everyone should be becoming Australian citizens. You can see how bad the Migration Act is. If you're a citizen, you're not covered by it. So, and even permanent residence, it's not, you get a criminal record and they can cancel your visa. So don't think you're safe. Kiwis who are here on a special category 444, you get a criminal record, they can cancel that and kick you out straight away. If you are eligible for citizenship, you should be applying for citizenship. I should do another citizenship TikTok. The last one went really well. It's been over 12 months since I did one. After the student visa, 3 more minutes. After the student visa and being in a bridging visa, applied for partner visa, can I work full time? Yes, definitely. You have no restrictions on like a student visa. The work restriction is while you're in class, you can't work more than 24 hours a week or 48 hours a fortnight. Your bridging visa, well, it probably doesn't have a restriction at all. Probably says nothing about work, which means you've got full work rights. If it does say something, it'll say while you're in class. Well, you won't be in class anymore. You can work full time. You can work 2 jobs full time if you want to. Go for your life. Gabri Lopez. I'm 31, living in Queensland, 462 visa. Experience in mechanical labourer in solar farms. Which visa would I recommend? Well, there's no. Oh, well, there's if you're in. Well, if you can get a 482, I don't know what a mechanical labourer is. If you can get a 482, mechanical. Well, you know, I don't know what the occupation would be. But if you're in Cairns or Townsville, there's DARMA agreements. Otherwise, you've got to have an occupation on the CSOL so you can get a 482 visa, or there needs to be a labour agreement in your industry. So, yeah. If there's someone else on the farm, ask them what their occupation is and find out how they got their visa. That's the easy thing. It's funny, solar farms, because you always think that you're going to be chasing cattle or chickens or something like that. We don't know. We don't predict the future on things like that. James, I've missed what you said. Is there anything I can do for it? 2 labour agreement beyond 6 months. Don't know what that is. 189 visa processing time will be 3 to 5 months. It currently says 8 months, but they haven't had any new applications in 8 months. That's why it says that. So 3 to 5 months. Vet Bill, aged care worker 482, you need to be on the labour agreement. There's an industry labour agreement, so you'll be in the labour agreement stream. All aged care workers are eligible for that. They just need to apply. Machine operator. A knitting machine operator. You're a knitting machine operator. There's all these different types of operators. Plastic production machine operators, rubber production, belt splicers. We'll go for this one. Or we'll go, I don't know which one to pick. There's all kinds of, we'll go for forestry and harvesting. So there's a DARMA agreement for that one in regional South Australia. Not elsewhere classified, is in the Kimberley in Western Australia, Northern Territory. You need to do a bit of research, download Aussie Visa Mate and find out what it says and find out what your occupation is, and then it will list all the, under the DARMA agreements there. It'll tell you what you need to do. In Perth, it's not listed. I'm waiting on a DARMA visa for more than 6 months. Well, you just have to keep you have to keep waiting, James. It's nothing unusual. Simran, no, you don't need to tell the department that you're like you don't have a passport yet, right? But you do have a passport. You don't have an Australian passport. That's what I'm saying. As you leave, they'll know you've left, right? Because Australia's an island, we have what's called movement records, and every time someone comes in and leaves, it gets recorded. We've got movement records going back all the way to, I don't know, 1900 at the start of Federation. So they used to keep all the cards that you'd fill in, but now it's all electronic. So you don't need to tell the department, no. Processing time for 482 is, well, it's 3 to 5 months, but you're in a labour stream. Processing times, I think it's a bit longer. Labour stream, 4 to 5 months for the labour agreement stream. Sanjay, book an appointment. Finnish language is hard to learn. Missing Australia, please help me. Oh, well, book an appointment. Let's talk. Instead of whinging on the channel. Jess James, earth moving. Okay, I've got to go. You're the last one, Jess. Pull it in. Earth moving labourer, earth moving plant operator, regional. So if you're earth moving plant operator, which I think that's what you are, Far North Queensland, Goldfields, Kimberley, Northern Territory, Orana, New South Wales, Pilbara, Western Australia, anywhere in the Western Australia state or the south coast of Victoria, you are good to go. HR advisors need jobs. Sudeep can only get sponsored. Okay. Thank you very much for playing the game. If you're not currently a follower, follow me. If you want to use my incredible app, download Aussie Visa Mate. Support the channel with gifts, shares, likes. No point doing the shares and likes. 8,300 likes today. That's great. I'll be back tomorrow. And if you're in a sticky situation and you need a hand, well, drop me a DM or email us there at enquiries@dragonmigration.com and I'll help you out. And also you can book appointments through the app or